On this model sewing machine, I'm going to show you how the shuttle drive and the needle work together. There is only one exacting geometric way a stitch or a loop is made, with the thread that's coming down from the needle and with the thread that's coiled up on the bobbin. There's only one way a stitch can be made. On this machine here with that model number, this is incorrectly assembled for a deterrent example or just for the difference. And on this sewing machine, almost identical model, almost, but visually identical. This one is flawless. It's brand new out of the box, never been disassembled. So I'm going to show you the differences between a correct assembly and an incorrect assembly that never makes a stitch. On this sewing machine, you can see that this is this circular piece that moves around is the shuttle drive. What's been taken out is the shuttle. The shuttle has those two claws at one end. There, those two claws, and nothing on the opposite end. The bobbin goes inside there, inside this little bobbin house, of course, and everything is held together with this shuttle lock ring, and everything takes place in this raceway around here. So when the needle is at its raised to its highest position there, you can see that on the incorrectly assembled one, the needle is pointing at any length along the shuttle drive. On one that is correctly assembled, when the needle is at its highest point, it's pointing to the exact end of the shuttle drive there, to the gap between the shuttle drive and the shuttle. Let me just put this one back there. And of course it doesn't want to go now. There. So the needle is pointing at that gap. When the needle comes around and is being lowered there and reaches its lowest point, the needle is right between the claws of the shuttle at the end there. If I take this one out, the needle comes down between these claws. At the end of these claws, let me just raise the needle a little bit so I can actually put this shuttle back just a little more. There. The needle comes down there again. Okay. On this one, which is incorrectly assembled, when the needle comes down, it comes down and meets the shuttle halfway through, somewhere there. So this will never make a stitch. I also want to point out a lateral alignment here, that you have a little clearance between the needle and the shuttle drive. The needle must be able to bend a little bit like so. Same can be found on the new sewing machine. There, about the same amount of deflection must be made possible for the needle. Also, the shuttle race is mounted a little bit skewed or not in line. Look at that line in metal there. It's a little bit not in line with the frame. The frame is seen there, so they have the raceway for the shuttle mounted on that angle, and here on this one the raceway is very nearly parallel with the bottom edge of the frame there, so it needs to be, the whole thing needs to be rotated a little bit so that the that little notch in the shuttle race is a little bit past the vertical point where the needle is pointing, is roughly this direction, so it's a little bit past that, whereas on this one the needle is on this side of the notch, so that notch has to move a little bit somewhere here, just approximately. Of course you can get a straight edge and whatever and make it super accurate as well, but eyeballing will do it too if you pay attention to the geometry.